Hi, dear friends. This is Anamika. I'm back with my next review. So, recently I finished reading A Shimla Affair by Shristi Chaudhary. I was quite excited for this book, and there are many reasons why. Firstly, let me tell you a story about how I had a had an interaction with the author. I was in the Delhi book fair when I saw in one of the stands an author was there and she was interacting with book readers, promoting her book, taking selfies, talking to the people, interacting with them, and explaining her characters. That surely struck me as quite odd. I went up to her and asked her about her book, and I had never heard of her before that, and I ended up buying her book. That was Lalan Sweets. However, I failed to read that book so far. Haven't yet gotten to read about it. But I stumbled across her on Instagram and I started following her. Her posts seemed quite engaging and she speaks a lot against pirated books, which I also strongly oppose. I feel they spoil the fun of book reading, especially when often we find that they have some pages missing in between. It's not cool. So, yeah, let's come back to the book. So, with this new book launching, she promoted the book really well, and let's say the cover, the setup seemed very intriguing. So, as soon as I stumbled across this book, I purchased it, and it has been a good read. Being a very fresh author, a very young author, I think she has done a good job. So, let's talk about the good and bad aspects of this book. Firstly, the premise of this book, it weaves around the freedom struggle with a romantic angle amidst the backdrop of feminism in an age when it was not known to exist. It has a lot of elements to it. This is the story of three sisters who run a hotel and are under the British rule. They have been granted the use of the hotel after their father passed away. Their father was a revolutionary and he was not in good terms with the British government, though he initially had been. So, after his death, they were left with nothing, but somehow they could negotiate the hotel, which was their home as well as their livelihood. The hotel was a high end place where the British royals would frequent, and it catered to the high and mighty of the society. So they were well brought up, educated women, strong women. The story deals about what changes suddenly when their hotel is being threatened to be taken away from them, and amidst all that, we have the silent struggles people have been facing during the British rule in India, the injustices the people faced, the rioting, the hatred. This book describes everything very nicely, and the protagonist at the end, you feel she develops a lot over the books. What As she starts out a meek character, she somehow develops to become a strong and a bold woman as you reach the end pages. And it has been a book which actually touched me. I liked it, definitely. But there are a few negative aspects which I felt while reading the book. I felt certain situations in the book were quite not plausible. They were structured in such a way which makes it really difficult to believe that they can happen. Or even if they happen, it seems extraordinary. But they have not been described as extraordinary. They have been described as an ordinary event, but things which don't seem very normal or natural. So that takes away some bit of a charm of the book. But overall, it has been a nice read, and of late I have been discovering and have been trying to read a lot of Indian authors. Growing up, I was mostly into international contemporary fiction, but I feel our Indian authors are doing a great job, and perhaps in my teenage years I'd have never come across her book. But now I'm glad that Indian authors have such a good reach, and yes, I'm happy with this book, and I would really recommend it to people who are in who would like a bit of a feminist novel, who would like a bit of romance amidst the backdrop of a revolution stirring up. But yeah, I would like to rate it maybe a 3.2 out of 5, mainly because of the few drawbacks I mentioned. uh, so with this I sign off, guys. Have a nice week ahead, and I'll catch you soon with my next review. Bye bye. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.